tonight, Lord, that you would lead, guide, and direct us in everything that we do and everything that's said and done, Lord, we please with you. All these things we ask in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Nick, you'll do.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, Chair. Second,
I'll second.
all vote. Swap places, Wayne.
All right. Go down the list and approve, we need to approve the minutes of December 21st. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. All right. We need to take, elect the vice chairman.
Mr. Wooten over there with the vice chair.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, now, on approving of the minutes of the December 21st, 2015 meeting.
I'll make motion for
Have a motion, got a second? Anybody got any discussion on that? Just as read, all right, call for a vote. Thank you. Approve the finances. Gary?
Well, we're at 50% of the year and 46.8% of the budget, so overall, we're doing pretty good.
The sheet that you sent out to us that has graphics on it and everything, the sheriff's department we know with out of town,
Right.
people that are having jails in other towns and all, but the other ones, have you talked to them and you got a reason why and everything?
Yeah, well, they're just a tad bit over, and some of it has to do with, like I said earlier, the extra two pay
Two
periods
pay
for the
periods
first 6
came into
months.
the first part of the year rather than.
So we're at 50%, but we an extra pay period over, so that's where that comes in.
Yeah.
So part of that will catch up in the second
And,
half, right?
you know, what you're seeing there is everybody who's over, but there's some that are under.
Yeah.
So they're not, we're just
Yeah.
focused on where we're at over.
All right. Anybody got anything else on that? All right. Anything else on finance? That's all. Okay. Next is appoint. Oh, vote on it, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And, second, got a motion and a second, all in favor? Now, next here is, appoint ex officio to the recreation board. That's somebody off our board to represent us and bring it back to us, what all is going on. And, so I'll table it for a motion. All right, we got a motion and a second, all vote. Next, number 9 says appointment. How you pronounce him?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda Torres, yeah. Add it, I did that first one, to the Recreation Board to replace Warren Coleman. I understand that Warren resigned.
Right.
And so now we need to put someone back on, and she had applied, and it was already, we had her name in, and also put it on the table for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, all in favor? Thank you. Next is appoint or deny the road department hours. This is where, all y'all know that they work 4 hours during the summer, 4 days, 10 hours a day, and during the winter. And some of us, and I was one of them, that thought that if they done it during the winter, in the first part of the month, that it'd be dark when they needed to leave out. But now daylight's coming about somewhere close between 6:30 and 20 minutes to 7, and it's staying darker longer. So Mr. Roberts said that it would be daylight when they came in, good daylight, and they wouldn't have to be around there, that they could hit the road and wouldn't have to worry about it. So I'm going to ask for a motion.
What time they fuel up and all that,
Yeah.
they do good daylight.
Yeah, well, they have a safety meeting, and then they have prayer, and then he passes out the work order. So you're talking 20 minutes, if not 25 minutes every morning anyway.
Right, what we did was the 21st of December was the shortest day of the year, so like you said before, we wanted to wait and see,
Yeah,
and it looks like there's light enough.
yeah.
Really what it'll do, it'll really give them more work hours, plus it'll save money really for the county to go to 10 hours.
And, the only problem that I have with it personally is that
Get the trash picked up.
get the trash picked up, we're gonna have to stagger that thing, or let him have another
Okay.
part-time person. That way I want it on here, because we don't need to pick it up Monday, is where it's all overloaded and it takes a while. We don't even get all of them picked up Monday and Tuesday. So if we do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then that's gonna let people start throwing it in Thursday night or Thursday morning after we done picked up there, plus Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're gonna have the overload, so we're gonna need at least one driver. And I think he's got 4 that can drive it, and he can stagger them with some of the part-time. He can do that, but we just need to rotate it, and we need to make sure that we're picking up trash 5 days a week, because the city is open on Friday and can weigh it for us, and we don't need to let it back up just because we done this.
Well, another thing too, most of the trash is dumped on the weekend.
That's true. And they need to
It
be
need to
towed
be
in
empty
on
Friday.
Friday. Yeah. All right, with that, and you got, it'll be on Friday, so, like, need a motion.
I make a motion to approve it with somebody picking up trash on Friday.
I second the motion.
Got a motion second. Brad made the motion, all in favor? Thank you. Number 11, approve Brad Cruz to the Southeast Georgia Regional Development Authority.
I'll put motion that we, incorporate those to the regional development authority.
Second.
Motion, made a motion, Jerry second, all in favor? Number 12, Tax Commissioner Susie Kersey, approve or deny the refund on Joseph Mill and discuss the tax on the property sold to the city.
Okay,
This is the paper that you handed us as we came in.
yeah, I apologize for giving this to y'all earlier, but I was out sick.
Ms. Gertie was sick last week, 30 days, and called this morning, talked to her, and she said that she was gonna have it for us, and so we got it here. Have y'all looked over it? Let's take the first one first, is approve or deny the Joseph Mill. Ms. Gertie, you want to tell us something about it? This one that's on Crow Market?
Yes, the city had a tax sale, and Joey Mims purchased this piece of property, and when he went to do his right of redemption, after his year and 1 day, the attorney found out that all the people wasn't notified, that was supposed to be notified, that the people doing the tax sale did. And so the city had to reverse the sale. So they had to give Mr. Mims back his money. So he had paid us 13 and 14 taxes on this in the amount of $113.02. And they requested us to refund him that money since he's no longer the owner, because they had to reverse the sale.
Okay, I don't know if y'all all aware how that works, but if the county sells property outside the courthouse, or the city sells property, you have attorney to go back and see all the people that was tied to the land. If they want to come and pay all the back taxes and the penalties and the interest, then they can, and it still stay theirs. Then one person, as Ms. Curtis said, and if I say anything wrong, let me know, did not get notified. So the city had sold it, and then when you do sell it, you owe the year there, and he's paid us 2 years of taxes since he got the property, but now he don't have the property. And
You want that money back?
and he wants his money back, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But, so now the property is back in the city's
It's
hands.
back in the person's name that the, properties were delinquent in.
Okay,
So
Still gonna be delinquent tax.
it's gonna be,
it's gonna be delinquent taxes, so it's probably either gonna be in my next sale or the city's next sale. I'm having a tax sale, I think, in June, so it'll probably be in my tax sale in June.
so you're gonna have to go back, put it back in inventory, I say inventory, back into the system, then add the penalty and interest for these years, same way with the city and the school board. Okay.
So what we wanna do now is just give him his money back, that's
Yeah,
all.
that's it. So what we got on the table is that he probably don't care what we do with it, but as long as he gets his money back, and, I mean, he deserves his money back, so he don't have the land. So I need a motion that we agree to give his money back to him.
I see.
Jerry made a motion, Bruce second, all in favor? Thank y'all. Then we have another piece of property, and it's SBJ Investors. I think it's property where the H&R block was.
Yes, sir.
Will you explain a little?
Yes, sir, it's where H&R block and, part of Dr. Johnson and them's parking lot. They sold this piece to the city January the 21st of 2015. Dr. Johnson has paid his portion of $1,494.97. The total of the bill was $24,2204. So I need to know if we're going to exempt the city from, because they got it in January, so they wasn't no way to prorate, because they bought it the first month of the year.
Okay, but they bought it in the year 2015, correct?
15, yes, sir.
And Dr. Johnson paid the first, or his part of 2015.
Yes, sir.
And, okay, well, I remember the buildings that was on Almer Highway that the gentleman donated to the Development Authority through the county, and we waived the county taxes. I can't remember what month, if it was the third month, fourth month of the year, whatever, but then we had to pay the city taxes. I think it was like $5,000 and something dollars. I may be wrong, I haven't went back and dug it up, but I think it was something similar to that. And I mean, they bought it in December, and then when it went over, you know, it would have been different, but now, how do y'all feel about it?
So like the first one,
He bought it in 2015, and the taxes, you know, you start owing on a house, you pay in the year that you living in it, and you pay them in December after you've already done that for a year. And so the bill goes out to the person that owns it January 1st. And Dr. Johnson owned it for a month, and he paid his share, $1,094.97. But there was $24,2204, and so there's the difference between the two.
I like motion to table until I can look at what you just brought to the table.
All right, we got a motion to table this to, y'all can research and see the situation that I was talking about. I have a motion. Brad made one. Got a second. Steve second. All in favor? Table. All right, it's tabled. Thank you, Ms. Bird. 13, Horn denied correction on the land for Larry Ward Warren Brantley in 2015. Did y'all have a copy of that? Okay. I called today and talked to Miss Kathy and asked her what was going on with it, and we had tabled it last month because we didn't know, and she said that it was coded like it was right outside the city limits, and it's way on out there. It's out toward LL Post Road. I mean, it's way out in the country. And when he brought it in, and when Henry Mims owned it, it was 5-point-something acres, and then he got 3.40 acres. And that it was, once they went back and changed it to where the location of the land was, it broke down in three. The closer the land, even acres outside the city, is higher right outside of the city, and it's broke into 3 different classes. And the further out, and I'm just giving, like say maybe 4 miles or 5 miles out, it'll become a 2. And then as you go further and get closer to another county line, it becomes a 3. And Mr. Soto, am I correct?
Yeah, you're definitely in the ballpark.
So that's what she said that this was, and why the reduction in it. It's not on the whole 5-point-something, because if you look at it, I don't know if they've checked to see if they well and a septic tank on it. If they did, they'd be improvement. And,
No, sir, there is not.
there's not, okay.
It's all over.
Yeah. All right.
I make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion? Steve, second. All in favor? All right, thank you. Now, we're gonna have to take and excuse ourselves. Y'all can stay in here where you don't have to get up. And I need a motion to go into executive session.
okay,
Jerry made a motion.
I second.
Rocha second. All in favor? I need a motion to come back in. Steve, second. All in favor? We back into regular session. We met in executive session, there was no action taken and anything, so we'll open back up and we got public comments in the next one.
For the public comment, I'd like to comment and apologize for my tardiness. I just got out the dentist chair. And I'm in pain, so.
Quit talking.
Who would like to be first for public comment?
Actually, I would like to extend the invitation to you, Mr. Hall, since you are now the County Commission Chairman by virtue of your seat. You're ex officio with the Development Authority Board, and our meeting is the third Wednesday every month at 3 o'clock in the chamber. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll be having our first meeting of the year at 3 o'clock in the chamber.
3 o'clock. Appreciate it, thank you, sir.
Sir.
Anybody else? Anything else on public comment?
Mr. Abbott?
Just learn, y'all need to make sure that water out there is ditch.
Mike Raccoon. I got some kin folks that filled in a railroad ditch, and it's backing water up on me and also other people. I talked to the road department man one time about it, and he said you can't tell people what to do with their own property. Okay? It's not their property. So why can't you tell them that they can't do it? I have diagrams here showing there's 90-foot right-of-way on the railroad behind everybody's house. Now, you can buy the property from the railroad if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it ain't your property. There was a ditch dug along there. There was a culvert put across the road to drain the water from the ditches into that ditch. The regular ditches stop at my property, at Mr. Stone's property. The people west of us don't have no ditches in front of their house. The railroad ditch used to take care of all the water. Right now, I'm getting flooded out. His trees are underwater, my trees are underwater. What do we do about it? I talked to the committee, like I said, I talked to the road department man, and he said, you can't do nothing about it. Why can't you do something about it? It's not their property. If you put a ditch in front of their house, they want you to pay for the culverts. They go in the ditch. I paid for my own damn culverts, excuse my language, I'm sorry. I paid for my own culverts. I put 2 in different places. So you go for the ditch. Mr. Stone took a rusted out culvert that was in there and put a concrete covered in where his ditch is. So I don't know what we're gonna do about this, but.
Okay, you telling me and the rest of the board here that they have not purchased the land?
No, they ain't purchased land.
Okay. And, I mean, you checked the deeds.
I'm the only one that's purchasing land along there.
Okay, but, I mean, we will check, have to make sure that they did not purchase any from the railroad.
They just put a chain link fence up, and they put the chain link fence on the county right of way. There's a 40-foot right of way right there.
It's 30.
30,
It's 30 feet.
I'm sorry,
It's 30.
30 feet.
30-foot right of way.
After you told me that, we went out there and we measured.
Or when I had
Check
my
that
property.
chain link fence you're talking about, it's 30 feet. So it's, the right of way is 30 feet and that chain link fence is right as close as it could get to it.
Are they on the right of way or not? You
No.
can't put a ditch there.
They're not on the right of way.
I'm sorry.
They're not on the right of way.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm just saying, we measured it today out there and checked that part.
Behind,
Stone Douglas Road.
Old Douglas Road.
Can you put a ditch in front of their fence?
You did,
Because see, I don't care about if you don't put the railroad ditch, if you don't clean the railroad ditch out, or they don't clean it out, or somebody don't clean it out, that's gonna get rid of the water. Otherwise, if you put a ditch down in front, all the way down to Larry Trials Crossroad there, on the crossroad, you got their property that you're gonna have to put a ditch in front of. You got the Dominique's property you're gonna put a ditch in front of. And on the other side of the road, you got the used to be the bat wells, I don't know whose it is now, since that well died. So you're gonna have to dig a long ditch.
Well, you know, I went out there and looked at that. The only thing I can say is that when you get back up the road and look, the land goes downhill towards your property.
Yeah, but what are we supposed to do? I mean, we supposed
In
to...
other words, if you dug a ditch, it wouldn't run uphill and run away from you. That's what I'm afraid. And then you look, and you can look at it from your property on the other way, it trails uphill a little bit, so that's part of the
That's
problem.
going north. I'm talking about going west. From my house
I'm just
down-
saying either way, it kind of slopes towards where that ditch is.
Okay, how about
But it's low there, but the water needs to go somewhere. And it did go down by the railroad track before the ditch was filled in. Don't matter whether I own the railroad track or somebody else, or somebody purchased it, they can't back water up on somebody else's property. And, they're trying to go to the railroad, seems like they don't care, they act like they don't even own it anymore. Can't get them to do anything, but the water, that ditch got to be cleaned back out.
Let me, what about West Go, you meet with me in the morning sometime, and let's go out and look at it.
All right, that'd be good.
Uh,
We asking y'all to try to help
what
us
time-
get that water situation taken care of.
I called
What time,
Mr. Cruz earlier
Yeah,
today.
and I thought I can go tomorrow.
Whatever you want to, 10 o'clock, 10:30, whatever.
10
I can go with
o'clock.
you.
Pick a time, I'll be there too.
If you guys can't help us, well, we're gonna have to get with the Army engineers and
Here's what
how they are,
somebody-
they more busy than y'all are.
See, when they filled the ditch, they had their stumps taken out. The stumps was laying up there in a pile. They piled the stumps in the ditch.
When did they do this? When did they fill this ditch?
It's been about 6 months ago,
About
5, 4, 5, something like that.
I
So
told
the
them,
ditch- The ditch was open until this time.
yes,
Do
sir.
you know who dug the ditch?
I'm
Do
sorry,
you know who dug that ditch?
the railroad.
The ditch has always been down there.
It's been there since year one. In fact, when we first moved there, and I think this gentleman put the culvert in for us, had the culvert put in across the road. They had a petition signed, my mother, it's all my kinfolks. They're all, every one of my kinfolks. But they all think they can do what they want to do. That they don't have to do what everybody else does.
So y'all basically want that ditch cleaned out.
in the morning.
I'm sorry,
Y'all basically just want that ditch
We
cleaned
want the
out.
water moving, instead of backing up.
you clean the ditch out, the water will go on again.
Let us go out and look at it.
Okay?
Me and Jared.
I want to, we'd like to, if y'all can help us do something about that water and get that water going on out of there.
But we may have to, just to be honest with you, the county cannot go on private property.
Go on his property, that's county.
You have no right on the railroad property, what you're saying.
Yes.
You can't do nothing with that.
But, we may can get permission from the railroad. I don't know exactly how that works.
Now,
So let us look at it, see.
Let us look at it, see if we can come up with a solution, because I've not seen it, Jerry, none of us have seen it. Gary's seen it, but,
If we don't get that ditch by the railroad track opened back up, we're gonna have to put some road ditches
Out front.
out front where the water can move. Because that's the only means the water can move, either by the railroad ditch or by the road ditch. And there ain't never been no road there in the last 20 years. Everybody just built into the road and no road ditch.
What's your cell phone?
You told me it's 375-7664.
'Cause keep in mind, if you want it.
Or either 383-2860. That truck phone.
I'll get hold of it. Let us come out here and look at it.
That's what we'd like, to get y'all to help us, see if y'all can help us anyway, get that water going.
I'll just come by and pick you up, you got me.
See if you're all right, be fine. Appreciate it, Gary.
Thank you. You want to stay or you want to go?
No, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go get some.
Anybody else with public comments?
One more. Buckeye. You have notice in the Jeff Davis Herald for tax assessor applications that close on November 30th. In November 30th, you ran a second ad that closed December 18th. I noticed that there were not a recension or a amendment to the ad. So what I was trying to find out was there two vacancies or one vacancy.
No, the first ad that ran should have had the latter date. Instead of just, what was it, 1 week,
Okay, so that then
only one vacancy.
Only one vacancy.
it ran 2 ads.
Well, we could run it multiple weeks anyway,
But would-
but the second one, we changed the date.
but you did not rescind the first one. Or amend it.
Well, there was nothing, no harm, because it's just, we just added the date, or changed the latter date.
That's very confusing. How can you run an ad with a closing date and then run a second ad and not rescind or amend the first ad?
Did you apply?
Yes.
What,
Pardon me?
what's your name?
Love Cobb.
What name did you say, sir?
Love Cobb.
Well,
C-O-B-B.
Explain to me exactly what you said again. I mean, we ran an ad from,
First ad was closing date November 30th.
from, so it had a beginning and an end.
Beginning and end.
Okay.
The first ad said that application should be in by the close of business, November 30th.
So you're saying we didn't close out the first ad before we ran out the second?
Did not close out first before you ran a second. The second ad ran close of business December 18th.
Which was the last Friday before the meeting where we vote, so, which is the first day, it should have ran this, that, it should have said Friday the 18th.
So what I could not understand is how could you have a second ad running when you did not rescind or amend the first ad?
Human error,
I can't.
human error,
I worked government,
yeah.
and I know I ran ads for job vacancies, and if I closed an ad or decided to change the date on an ad, then I had to either rescind that bid or amend that bid. So I'm just wondering, maybe this entity in government has a different way of doing things. I'm kind of lost.
Carl, I definitely can't answer you. I didn't run an ad, so I don't.
Could you look into it and give me an answer, please?
Yes, we will.
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Do you have a number we can call you at?
912-536-2146. And I turned the application in here in the office.
2146.
Yes.
Anything else? Public comment? Nothing else? We adjourn.
Yeah, I said that I would know, so that when I find myself there, give them more time. I can
I hate to put you there.
I'll give you.
You're always welcome to come. Look forward to seeing you again. Have a good one.
They just heard me.
So nobody, you hadn't done it with anyone else.